Welcome to this video. In this video we have two objectives. The first objective is to plot numbers on a number line, and the second objective is to use inequality symbols. So we're going to plot or graph numbers on a number line, and we're going to use inequality symbols. Anytime we see the word plot, we may substitute in its place the word graph. So you may be asked to graph some numbers on a number line. It means the same thing as plot. And we have -2, -3/5, -3/2, 0, 4/2, 4, and 4 on the number line. And here you see a number line. Notice we have 0 kind of in the middle, positive numbers running off to the right side, and negative numbers running off to the left side. And notice that the increment between these two marks, between marks on here, are each a half a unit. So let's keep that in mind when we're plotting these points. The first one that we're to plot is -2, and plotting, all you have to do is make a big dot and locate it in the correct spot. There's -2 is plotted. -3 and 5/10 would be 3, and that's halfway between -3 and -4, so there's -3 and 5/10. A -3/2, we can go by half. -1/2, -2/2, -3/2. There's where that point is plotted or graphed. 0 is right here. By the way, 0 is neither positive or negative. 4/2. 4/2 we can count out by half. 1/2, 2/2, 3/2, 4/2. Notice that it's the same as 2. And +4 is our last number that we're plotting. And so we've plotted some numbers on the number line. Let's do some more. This says to plot all positive integers, and we can put graph, means the same thing as plot. Plot all positive integers greater than -3. We've talked about integers on a previous video, but it would be probably helpful to talk about them again. And so first let's write down the counting numbers or natural numbers. Those are the ones that you are used to using when you were 2 or 3 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. These are known as the counting numbers or natural numbers. And if we add just a single number to that set, 0, we now have something called the whole numbers. And so the whole numbers are just the natural numbers plus 0. Now if we start taking the opposite of some numbers, for example, the opposite of 1 would be on the other side of 0, an equivalent distance, and that would be -1. The opposite of 2 is over here at -2. And by the way, the opposite of 0 is just itself. And we could keep doing that, and then if we add all those numbers, we've created the integers. And by the way, we mentioned that the opposite of 2 was -2. The opposite of -2 is back to 2. The opposite of -1 is 1. So opposite can go in both directions. So here we have the set of integers. And the set of integers, we want the ones here that are positive, and notice that they're the same as the natural numbers. Now, what does greater than mean? Greater than means to the right of, as far as the number line is concerned. So we're looking for numbers that are to the right of -3, but they also have to be positive. So the first couple are not positive, 0 is not positive. Finally, there's our first number to the right of -3 that's positive, and so we'll mark 1, and so is 2, as is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. And to show that this pattern continues forever out to the right, we put 3 dots in there, and we've graphed all the points greater than all the positive integers that are greater than -3. The next one says plot, and remember plot means the same thing as graph. Plot all positive integers now less than. So less than, as far as the number line is concerned, means to the left of. Remember, greater than meant to the right of. Less than means to the left of. 2 on the number line. So there's a positive number. 1 is our only positive integer that is less than 2. All the other ones are either 0 or negative. So we only have plotted a single number there. Next problem says plot all negative integers now. Negative integers, there's less than again, which means to the left of, or equal to -2 on the number line. And so let's first start plotting the negative integers. Those are the ones with negative signs, and that are to the left of -2. Let's do those first. So there's -3, that's to the left of -2, -4, -5, -6, -7, and once again this pattern continues, so we put 3 dots there, but it also says are equal to, so we have to also plot the point -2. In this next problem, we're going to use inequality symbols. And the problem reads, use less than. That first symbol means less than. The second symbol is greater than or equal to make a true statement. These symbols will point, if you think of them as arrowheads, you want them to point to the smaller of the two numbers. So with 4/10 and -8/10, -8/10 is smaller, it's a negative number, and so we want it to point in that direction. So we put in the greater than symbol. For the second problem, notice that -2/3 and -4/6, -4/6 is the same as -2/3, so we put an equal sign in there. The next problem has -1/5 and +8/7. -1/5 is the smaller, so we have our arrowhead pointing to that, and we put in a less than symbol. On the next problem, we have 3/4, and then we have an opposite of -3/4. Opposite of -3/4 is how we read that. And remember, we talked about that earlier. The opposite of a -3/4 is the same as a +3/4, and so we have something that's equal. That's all the time we have for this video. See ya.